honourable member for Richmond.
Mr. Speaker, in 2002, the Deputy Premier was very concerned about education funding by the previous Tory government and the impact it would have on students in Cape Breton. In a March 6, 2002 op-ed to the Cape Breton Post, the Deputy Premier wrote, and I quote, "If there's any will at all to build a new economy for Cape Breton, it must include a commitment to education," end quote. Mr. Speaker, since this government took office, Cape Breton Regional School Board saw several schools close, including Holy Angels High, Ashby Elementary, and Cornwallis Elementary. Mr. Speaker, will the Minister of Education tell members of this House how the Deputy Premier upheld his, quote, "commitment to education," end quote, while your government made the decision to slash public education funding and force the Cape Breton Regional School Board to close these schools?
Honourable the Minister of Education.
Thank you very much. I would like to say that I stand behind my Deputy Premier and with this government that we are making sure that our funds match the needs of our students in the province today.
The honourable member for Richmond on his first supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, in the same Cape Breton Post op-ed from 2002, the Deputy Premier noted his concerns with the funding formula that was used, and I quote, "In a time of economic transition, our survival will depend on vision, knowledge and skill. It will require an educational system that will equip the next generation with these tools, not a crude per capita based funding formula that will lead us to educational discrimination," end quote. In 2002, the Deputy Premier called the hand government's per-student funding formula, the very same formula they are using today, crude and discriminatory. So my question to Minister of Education is, did the Deputy Premier ever inform the Minister of Education that the way your government funds school boards is crude and discriminatory?
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. There's two aspects of his question. I first would like to just clarify that this government changed the funding formula along with, there were 24 meetings that we had with the school boards in this province to make sure that the funding that we're providing to the school boards is allocated appropriately. So the funding formula has been changed, and we're making sure that we're strategically investing in the needs of our students in this province. And I would also like to say that we are making sure that the students in this province that are interested in skilled trades are getting it. We're doubling our capacity. Thank you.
The honourable member for Richmond on his final supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, this is but one more example of what the NDP said in opposition is completely opposite of what they say while they're in government. Mr. Speaker, due to the funding cuts made by the NDP government, both the Cape Breton Regional School Board and the Strait Regional School Board have been forced to announce school closures, which has caused great distress amongst teachers and amongst the communities. The Strait Regional School Board itself has voted to close 3 schools because of the funding changes made by this government. So my question to the Premier, would he advise us as to whether he believes that the Strait Regional School Board was simply playing games when they voted to close 3 schools in our board?
Honourable the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the boards, all of the boards, are given money in order to be able to provide the services that they dictate are needed by their students. So when they make decisions on schools that are outdated or have very, very low enrollments, that's a decision that is made by the school board quite appropriately. Hear, hear.